What's up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to review the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 5. So if you haven't seen the 5th episode of Season 15 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, turn this video off right now. Go watch the episode and come back and watch this video, okay? Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's a free and easy way to support me and my channel and get my channel some more exposure. It takes literally less than 3 seconds. So I'm going to count to 3 in my head while you like this video and subscribe to my channel, please. And thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. These are my thoughts and expressions coming out of my mind. Ain't nobody coercing me to say anything. I'm not on nobody's side. I'm just stating how I feel at the time. What else? Oh yeah, I'm not a public speaker, so I will tend to stutter. I stay doing this, like, it's just a habit. I don't know, but I'm not a public speaker. I will tend to stutter. You're gonna hear me pause, try to regain my thoughts. See, just stuttered right there. You're gonna hear me say, so, like 1,000 times. It is what it is. I just try to be as real as possible in my reviews. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking to my notes over here that I take while I'm watching the show. What else? Is that it? Well, I don't know if people be really paying attention to my background, but as you can see, I am not home. So I don't have my big frozen water bottle, but I do have a little water bottle right here that I'm be drinking from if I get thirsty while I'm talking so much. And what else? Oh, I did say in my last review of Real Housewives of Atlanta that I was going to start doing MVPs of the episode. Oh, but wait, before I do that, when I do my reviews, I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. I know a lot of people do ratings to do the 1 through 10. I try to be a little different, so I do grades. So this episode, I'm going to grade it a C. I'm sorry, it was a C+. It was very dry. Not a lot of stuff happened. I feel like this Birmingham trip that they had, I feel like they could have connected that and made it one episode. Because, like, they just basically reconvened after what happened with them banging on Kenya's door. So it was kind of like, it was very dry to me. This episode really didn't give nothing. This is the lowest I ever graded an episode. I'm sorry, but I wonder how the ratings was. I wonder how many people watched that episode. But I know it wasn't over 1 million. But yeah, C+ for this episode, unfortunately. But anything else? Oh yeah, I say MVP of this episode for me. This is my first time ever doing MVPs of Real Housewives. I say last week on my last my last review, I said I was gonna start doing MVPs of the episode, but I didn't do it last review because I did 2 episodes in one, and it just would have been a whole situation. And I had just thought of it in the middle of that last review that I did. So I was like, when I get to episode 5, I'm gonna start doing MVPs of the episode. MVP of this episode for me was Sonia, because that girl she used like she said like 3 words in this episode, and I was like, big Sonia. And I've been liking Sonya these past like 2-3 episodes. Her little reads been funny. But this episode, she was on the phone with Kenya. She was like, oh, say less. Bye. Bet. I'm gone. That's so me. Like, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm out of here. So I was like, MVP Sonya for sure. But like I said, this episode was so dry. So I wouldn't even really be able to call it. Like, nobody was really MVP. But that one little moment gave for me from Sonya. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to give her that one. I was like, MVP of this episode. So yeah, I'll say Sonya's MVP. What else? Okay, yeah, last chance. If you haven't seen the 5th episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, turn this video off right now because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. And I don't want you to be on here saying, oh, she talking about stuff I didn't see yet. Da-da-da. Yeah. So we're about to get into it. The first scene, let me make sure I got my H. Okay. The first scene is, like I said, reconvening, whatever that word is, continuing on from the last episode where they was knocking on Kenya's door. Kenya came to the door screaming, you crazy, my daughter here, da-da-da. You psycho bitch, all that stuff. So we get Kenya saying all that. Marlo going back and forth. Sheree trying to chime in saying, oh, well, Kenya, we just had a couple of questions. Marlo was like, nah, she always do this. Kenya always do this. Kenya Summer Moore, something like that she called her. Because I was wondering what the summer thing was, too, that she kept knocking on the door saying, Summer. So Sheree was like, what is the summer thing? And Marlo was like, Kenya Summer Moore. I still didn't understand that. But she says that, and then Marlo was like, well, I don't care what y'all about to do. I'm about to leave. I'm not about to sit right here and be nobody's she just was saying some stuff kind of like shading Monietta, but not all the way. Monyetta felt that shade and was like, oh, I'm gonna do whatever I feel like, whatever the guy feel like, or something she was. I don't even remember the whole whatever they were saying, but so then Marnietta's in her confessional talking about some. Oh, Marlo did too much. Doing that, kicking the door and all that other stuff when her daughter's in there. Like that's so and that's. And I was in my head like, okay, Monyetta said all that in her confessional, but did not say that in the moment when Marlo did it. That's supposed to be your friend, and you saying you feel for Kenya, that's your friend and all that. I think she even mentioned something about Kenya leaving her out there to be with them, or something like that. And I was just like, girl, you a friend of Candy. Kenya just being friends with you because you friends with Candy. She been cordial, and I mean, of course, they growing a relationship. It is what it is. She helped her with her dance routine, all that. But it's just like, girl, don't expect too much from Kenya, Monya. Don't expect too much from Kenya. So Monya, I was just like, why she ain't say all that in front of Marlo? But she says it in her confessional. Marlo did too much and all that. And then she never says it this whole episode, like in front of the ladies. She says it in her confessional. So I was like, come on, Monyetta, don't be that type of friend of. So she says all that in her confessional. The ladies, they catch the elevator. I'm assuming downstairs to the lobby. They try to walk through a door or something. Marlo, like, she pushes the door, like, she walks through the door and then tries to push it closed so it can so it can slam into Monyetta. So Monyetta's like, you just trying to slam the door on me, bitch? Da-da-da-da. Like, going at Marlo. Everybody saying in their confessionals how heavy the door was, this, that, and the third. They even bring it up later in the episode. And I'm just like, no. Ain't no way. I mean, I get it. The door is heavy. They did show us a quick little clip towards the end of the episode of how heavy the door is, and it just slams on its own. But the way that Marlo slammed that door, you know damn well she tried to hit that girl with it, but her old ass couldn't hit it, couldn't push it as hard as she wanted to. So the door only did what it could do. But she tried, Marlo tries to deny it. Everybody tried to come to her defense later on in this episode talking about the door was heavy. I was like, I don't care how heavy the door was. It's the fact that she still tried to slam that door into Monyetta. And also into Courtney, because Courtney was kind of in front of Monyetta. It kind of looked like it hit Courtney a little bit. Courtney's supposed to be your girl, Marlo. So that whole situation, I was just like, really? Marlo just be doing too much. And I hate it because I was one of the ones that kept saying, give Marlo a peach, man. I kept saying, give Marlo a peach, man. She always used to give as the friend of. But I am not liking her as a friend, bro. I mean, I'm not liking her with the peach, bro. I'm not. And I was one of the ones steady saying, give Marlo a peach. I was one of the ones advocating for Marlo. But she not giving. She ain't give last season or this season. She don't know how to take accountability. And she starts stuff and she throws rocks and hide her hands. She like the true definition of that. So they get down to the lobby after Monyetta just tried to spaz on Marlo about slamming the door on her. Marlo storms out to the front of the building. Courtney goes behind her, trying to console her. I'm just like, Courtney, girl, I don't like you neither, but you don't even know what you're doing trying to go out there and talk to Marlo and all that. What happened after that? Oh, yeah, so then they flash back into the lobby. Sheree and Monyetta, they on speakerphone with Kenya. And Monyetta was like, oh, yeah, I'm done with Marlo, girl. Da-da-da. Kenya was like, I told you she a snake. Like, you can't trust her. That you ain't want to listen to me, this, that, and the third. I was like, what you mean she ain't want to listen to you? She stated her beef with Marlo last episode. What are you talking about? Or was it the episode before that? Whatever episode that was where Drew performed. A Star is Reborn, whatever they wanted to call that episode. But I was like, girl, she been not messing with Marlo. You was the one that tolerated Marlo. You let her on this trip. So speaking of, Kenya was like, I just feel like whoever's not my core friends should just leave the trip, da-da-da. So this was the moment where Sonia gave everything for me. She gave me everything I needed. She saved this episode with that one little line for me. I was just like... So Kenya was like, at this point, whoever's not my core friends can leave, da-da-da. So Sonya was like, well... She ain't even asking no wild-ass way. Sonya was just like, I just wanted to know, I know we're going to the football game, but what else do we have, like, planned? What else is coming up? Kenya was like, well, Sonya, you know what? You can just go, too. You don't have to be... You can go and come back. I mean, don't come back. I was just like, damn! But we all knew she low-key didn't like Sonya. We knew she didn't like Sonya she don't be liking Sonya for a while, ever since that situation with I think the Jamaica trip. I think did Sonya bring it up right here? I can't even remember. Did she bring it up right here? No, she doesn't. Oh yes, she does. Yeah, she brings it up right here. So Kenya was like, well, Sonya, you can just leave and not come back. Da, da, da. Sonya was like, okay, say less, bet. Handed the phone back to Sheree, got up and bounced. I was like, that's so me. Like, bruh, like, you ain't got to tell me twice. Like, especially if I ain't already want to be here. She says in her confessional she got work in the morning. She chose to be here. Unlike her friends Drew and Candy, who, I mean, they had real reasons for not being there. But still, she was like, I'm here and, like, and the way you treat me. Then she was like, and then Sonya says in her confessional, she was like, I was expecting a lot from Kenya because she expected so much from me in Jamaica last season. And they show that scene when Sonya took all the ladies to Jamaica last season. And who was it? I think it was Kenya and somebody else. They got mad because Sonya didn't tell them about some call time. I can't even remember what the whole situation was. They were supposed to be there at 7 or 6:30 or something like that. The bus sprinter left. Sheree was the only one that made it. I can't even remember the whole thing. But Kenya was real mad about that. And it wasn't even something to be super mad about. Because Sonya trip was actually for work. And she brung y'all along as a courtesy. So if she got to step off for work, you can't be mad at that. I just feel like Kenya's whole trip just went down hill. When was the last trip she had? I think the last trip she hosted was that trip with the stripper that they were saying Portia slept with. I remember that junk because she came down there on that pool side and was eating that crab cake sandwich, and Candy was pissed. She was like, "You ain't got no food for the rest of us." So this is my second. I think this is my second time. I can't remember how many trips Kenya done hosted. She been on this show for so long, but I remember that trip vividly, and now I remember this one. And Kenya, you got to step it up for you to be the Black Barbie Miss USA. Your trip's got to be a little bit more lavish. And they had a nerve to make fun of Sonya's trip. I mean, it's not Sonya's trip. Sonya's little party that she threw last year for, I think it was a birthday party or something. They were talking about the beef patties. I don't remember the whole details, but. So they show that little scene. I'm like, yeah, Sonya making a good little point. And it's not like she came at Kenya any type of way. She just asked, like, what else do we have planned besides this football game? Because at this time, they don't know that Kenya's performing for the halftime show. She kept that part a secret. So yeah, Sonya was like, bet, I'm gone, bet. She dips out. So then Kenya tells Sheree, because, Monietta already knew because she was training Kenya to dance. Kenya's still on the phone when Sonya walks off. Kenya tells Sheree, I'm performing at the halftime show. That's what it was. And Sheree was like, oh, you should have told us that. We came for you. Da-da-da. Whatever you want to call it. They go back to Marlo and Courtney outside. Well, I think they come back in the lobby, but they sit, like, further from Monietta and Sheree. Sonya calls them and was like, yeah, she just told me to leave. This, that, and the third. Marlo was like, I'm about to text her. They show the text message. She called Kenya a rude bitch. I can't even remember the other stuff she said. Then she put XOXO Marlo. I'm just like, bruh, this is the stuff we be talking about with Marlo, man. Then she even talk about something. I'm about to put it on Instagram. Like, this is the problem we have with you. She ain't got Candy this episode, last episode. Well, yeah. Yeah, she ain't had, because Candy wasn't with the ladies this episode, was she? Nah. Yeah, Candy wasn't with the ladies this episode. Yeah, it was still back in Atlanta. Yeah. So Marlo, Candy wasn't on last episode, and she wasn't with the ladies this episode, but she was in this episode. But wasn't with the ladies. So Marlo, if she can't talk about Candy because Candy ain't there, even though she still do. Now she gotta bother Kenya. And I used to love Marlo. I still think she can dress. She still be having her funny moments. She just toxic sometimes. She just toxic in ways. And I'm defending Kenya, and I barely even like Kenya. I just don't like the fact that Kenya says aggressive I counted. She said aggressive like 5 times since this first season started. Since this first season started, she has used aggressive a lot of times. She called Marlo aggressive with Drew. I mean, which was, but it was like you wasn't even there. You was going off what Drew said. Drew could have been lying out her ass because we know Drew lies. But it's like you called Drew aggressive. You called Courtney aggressive when she was coming at when she called Candy ghetto. And you called Martell aggressive. And it was 2 other times. I can't remember, but 5 times so far. Not to mention the time she didn't call people aggressive in previous seasons. She called Ross aggressive. She called maybe Apollo. I can't even remember. But I'm not even gonna get too that far back because I can't remember that much. But I was just like, I be getting tired of doing Kenya doing that. And then her tagline got the nerve to be do it for the culture. I am the culture. But you act like a Karen sometimes. It annoys me how much she act like a Karen sometimes. Anyway, I'm going off track. So so yeah, after Marlo sends that text message, all that stuff, the ladies, I guess they sit back together. No. They still sit in separate spots in the lobby. But then Sonia comes down with her bags and stuff like, goodbye, ladies, I'm leaving. They was like, you really about to dip up out of it? She was like, yeah. She was like, because the fact that you got to do all that, Kenya's still on speakerphone. And she's like, who is that speaking? Sonya was like, oh, okay, now she don't know my voice. I was like, see, Sonya be going off sometimes. I was like, yes. Like, don't even say nothing because she trying to be funny at this point. You know that's her if she coming downstairs saying goodbye, ladies. And all the ladies saying, Sonya, you really going to leave? So you know that's Sonya they talking about, Kenya. And then it blew me because that next day or whatever day it was, next week, whatever you want to call it, when Sheree goes to visit Kenya at her house, Kenya was like, I can't even remember what happened that night. The only thing I remember is Marlo banging on my door. So I was like, oh, so you didn't remember sending Sonya, telling Sonya she could leave just for asking the question about what the festivities was going to be. You don't remember that though. So I just like, Kenya, she be doing stuff too. People don't be noticing. So yes, Sonya was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm dipping out. Da-da-da. Sheree tells Sonya was like, Marlo, you ain't leaving? Because I know if she want me to leave, she wants you to leave. Marlo was like, I ain't going to damn place. Marlo probably just want that episode check. Because I think they get paid to be in the episodes. If they not in the episode, they don't get paid. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. But then Sheree tells all the ladies that Kenya is performing at halftime. So they was like, oh, she should have told us that, da-da-da. Knowing that, you know they don't really care. So then they show this quick little scene of Drew getting released from the hospital. Drew had the flu. That's why she not in Alabama with the ladies. Poor Drew. If it ain't one thing, it's another. One minute she breaking her ankle or spraining it or something. Now she got the flu. Drew can't catch a break, bruh. So then they get this scene with Todd and Candy. Todd gonna try to tell Candy she got an audition to be for the executive producer role for his movie. I was like, nigga. Even Candy was like, I got 5 movies right now that they trying to get me for, and I ain't got an audition to. What you saying? It's like y'all need to audition for me or something. She said. I was like, yeah, stop playing with her. I mean, I get it's a joke. That's your wife, but I was like, nigga, shut up, Todd. So Todd was like, I gotta show you something. He goes, grabs this billboard. I mean, not a billboard, but like a what's it called? Like the board thing that people be putting the pyramid schemes on, but whiteboard, whatever you want to call it. He grabs a little whiteboard and it's like a picture of his movie, like a picture of the movie cover, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they call it, but picture of that. The name of the movie is called The Pass. Candy explains it's basically like a black version of the movie Hall Pass. Have y'all seen the movie Hall Pass? Where the wives gave their husband a day pass to go sleep with somebody else? It's the same damn concept. I'm wondering, has Todd seen that movie? And just was like, I could do a black version. But I was just like, bro, it ain't even too far off from the name. It's literally just one name off. The Pass, Hall Pass. But they talking about this movie. And I'm just like, literally the black version of Hall Pass. I'm just wondering, like, have they seen Hall Pass? They must have not. But, because Candy was like, yeah, it's basically about the spouse giving a partner a pass to go sleep with somebody. It's the same plot. Except in Hall Pass, they didn't act, the dudes act, well, spoiler alert, if you ain't seen the movie Hall Pass, the dudes don't actually sleep with no other woman because they feel guilty about cheating on their wives. It's like a whole mind game. But one of the wives actually does cheat on her Hall Pass. Spoiler alert, sorry if you haven't seen Hall Pass. So Candy's texting, Todd don't like, he's like, you texting, we supposed to be handling business, you wouldn't like that if I did it, you know, da-da-da. Saying she not paying attention. So then they started talking about Mama Joyce and BravoCon. She was like, yeah, Candy was like, yeah, I talked to my mama the other day, but she didn't say nothing about BravoCon. That's because Mama Joyce don't care, and she don't think that she don't think it's a big deal. No matter how many times you come to her telling her it's a big deal, Candy, smiling while you do it, so she really don't think it's a big deal. That's why I said Candy be too, I don't know if I don't want to say timid is the word, because she'll spaz on your ass. I'm a spaz on your ass like I'm Monique. I was just watching the Rick Ross car show, and that line just came in my head, but she be spazzing though, so I wouldn't say timid, but she has this, Candy does this thing, like when she arguing with somebody, her tone sounds like, da, 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 yeah. And she be making that face like she smiling like, da, da, da. And I just be like, sometimes I can't even tell if Candy's being serious or not. Like when she was arguing with Courtney on the first episode, she was like, well, what's all that energy for? And I'm just like, why are you saying it like that? You need to be like, what's all that energy for? What's up? Like, that's how you should have been doing it to let Courtney know. Courtney probably thought you was timid. I don't know the word, but with you smiling and the tone of your voice when it come out, Candy, you got to change that up. Because people take that for naiveness, I guess. I don't know the word. Shoot, somebody tell me the word. I can't think of it. Because it's not timid. Maybe naive, but I don't know. Because Candy's not naive neither. She's super smart. It's a word for it. I don't know. So Todd gets to talking about, me personally, I don't take it as a big deal. He still feels the way about it, but he was like, it's just more so his kids. He don't want his kids growing up Ace and Blaze. He don't want them growing up seeing that. He said his oldest daughter, what's her name, Kayla? I can't remember his oldest daughter. I think it's Kayla. He was like, my oldest daughter, he was like, she don't even pay attention to no more. Like and that's sad that his daughter is immune to it. He been with Candy for like 10-something years. And his daughter, I think his daughter and Riley are the same age. Or she might be like a year older, 2 years. I don't know. But that means she was about Riley's age when they got together, and to have to see all this stuff about her dad, knowing that her dad is a good dude. Like, and that's the thing. Todd is not even a bad guy. It's just the stuff that Mama Joyce be saying, like making him seem like that. He don't come off bad as a bad guy to me. I do feel like he need to stop trying to get Candy involved in everything, because she busy just like he is. Do this shit on your own. I mean, I get Candy's a big name, and she your wife and all that, and y'all want to do stuff together, but do some stuff on your own, because Candy don't have time. Like, she don't have time. But I was just like, yeah, I mean, I get the whole situation with Mama Joyce, but I just feel like Mama Joyce not going to stop. She been doing this since you met him. And if she been doing this 10 years later, y'all still solid or whatever, and she still doing this, ain't no change in Mama Joyce's ways. And plus, old black women, you can't change their ways. You can't change their ways for nothing. They not going to change the way they move and the way they act and stuff. You can't change the black woman. You can't change the older black woman. I mean, you can't change the black woman if she don't want to be changed. But I'm just saying, Mama Joyce, she ain't going to change. They show a little FaceTime of Courtney filling Drew in on what happened at the trip in Alabama. And then they show a clip of Marlo on the phone with her life coach. That poor little life coach. I don't know. That's the life coach on the phone laughing at Marlo saying she tried to do it better. She tried to be better, tried to be calm or something, but they bring her out of her character and all that. And her life coach telling her, like, only person that can worry about Marlo is Marlo. Marlo was like, I can't even do that sometimes. The life coach laughing with her. I'm like, if you knew, you must not really know who Marlo is. I feel like these counseling scenes that we seeing with this life coach must be just filmed, because she need to know Marlo's actual personality. She need to watch the show and see the type of stuff Marlo does, because she just taking what Marlo's telling her. And Marlo, you know how Marlo likes to create it like she's the victim in the situation or every time. So I just feel like the life coach not getting all the info. But it's still like, I don't know, life coach, you gotta do better. Even Sheree says in this episode, Sheree sneaky ass. I ain't like her this episode. She be flip-flopping. She was like, Marlo need to give her life coach the money back. So I'm assuming, yes, the next morning, Kenya, she calls the ambulance for herself, says she's not feeling well, dizzy, shortness of breath, all that stuff. She says in her confession that she just recovered from COVID, so she don't know what it could be. A lot of people online think that she's lying. A lot of people think she made that up just because her trip was going so bad. A lot of people saying that she made it up because she wasn't really performing at Magic City. A lot of people said she made it up because she had stage fright because she did so bad at BravoCon. A lot of people have been saying different stuff. Me personally, I don't think somebody would fake being sick Because you fake being sick, you're going to actually get sick. And it'll be worse than that shit you was faking. So I don't think people should play when it comes to being sick. I don't think you should fake being sick. None of that. Unless you're calling out for work. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Okay. Yeah. So Sheree, she calls Marlo and tells her, come to my room. I got to tell you something. All the ladies show up to Sheree's room. So Sheree gets to telling the ladies, Kenya, I saw the EMTs. They came, took Kenya to the hospital. So Monyetta tell them, like, yeah, she texted me or something, said she getting a chest x-ray or something like that. She had chest pains. I can't remember what it was. So they all FaceTime Marlo. I said Marlo. They all FaceTime Kenya. That's what I was about to say, Marlo. She's like, oh, I don't want to play. And I get it. I get it. When you feel like you just got into an argument with somebody and they got sick the next day and you feel like the argument was petty, I get that. But I feel like in Marlo's case, she just doing it for the fuck of it, for the cameras, for the fuck of it, all that stuff. I feel like she's doing it for that. She was like, is Brooklyn okay? Just trying to be that fake caring friend, but I don't feel like she really cares because she going to dog Kenya later on in this same episode about being at the hospital or something like that. So they FaceTime Kenya. Kenya was like, yeah, I'm going to be here. They're going to do some tests, da-da-da. It was like, can we come visit you? Kenya said quick as hell, no, you can't, no. She's like, you can't visit me. Marlo was like, you're in our prayers. So they get off the phone with Marlo. I keep saying Marlo. Because Marlo just a character, bruh. They get off the phone with Kenya. And Monyetta was just like, oh, when I found out about Kenya, it just scared me, broke me down. It reminded me of my mother. My mother was sick too. Monyetta starts breaking down, crying. Sheree and Courtney, they comforting her. Oh, we didn't know. I'm so sorry. Da-da-da. So Marlo was like, well, let's say a prayer for Kenya. So she leads the ladies in prayer. They say a prayer. And then after that, she was like, I know we had our petty argument, but just the health is important. Da, da, da. So then she turns to Monyetta and was like, and you and me, girl, whatever we had yesterday, we good. We don't even worry about trying to give her a hug. Monyetta was like, She was like, nah, at first. But then she gives her a hug. Because, Monyetta's emotional about her mother. So that's the only reason I feel like she gave her a hug. And then Monyetta said in her confessional, she was like, I can't remember what she said. Basically, she's not buying it. Even when she hugged Marlo, you could tell she wasn't really buying it. So as the ladies started to leave the room, Monyetta asked, as they leave Sheree's room, Monyetta's asking Marlo, she's like, did you really slam the door on me? And this is when they start saying, oh, girl, we tried it. We tested it out yesterday. The door is really heavy. It's really heavy. And then they asked Marlo on their confessions, like, did you slam the door on Monyetta on purpose? She was like, nah, I didn't do that. She was like, but one thing I can say, that door was heavy, like they said. I'm just like, girl, you just going to take whatever somebody say and go with it as long as it helps your case. So I was like, whatever, Marlo. You tried to slam that door in that girl's face. Damn near hit your friend Courtney. So Marlo, she FaceTime Sonia, tells Sonia what's going on with Kenya. Sonia was like, for real? Sonia was laid up in the house back in Atlanta. Got there back there quick money. She wasn't playing. My good sis probably ran there. Big track medalist. Big gold medalist. I'm telling you, like, Sonya was MVP for me this episode. She dipped out and did not care. FaceTime her the next day, she in her bed laid up. I know that's right. So the ladies, they sitting down in the lobby, they talking about Kenya. Sheree was like, yeah, Kenya's assistant texted me and said that they're gonna be keeping her overnight because she running a fever or something like that. So Marlo was like, well, I tried to send flowers, but they said she was discharged already. The lady was like, what, for real? She was like, yeah, she must be on her way home by now. Marlo was like, she must be on her way home now. So a part of me thought Marlo was lying in this. My part, I was like, she probably sent them flowers and Kenya probably saw her name and sent them Jones back or told them to tell her she wasn't ill no more or something. She don't want no flowers from you. I was like, she probably turned them flowers away and that's why you thought she was discharged. But apparently, Kenya did just leave without saying anything. But why did the assistant lie to Sheree? I need to know the timeline of when the assistant texted Sheree and said they're gonna keep her overnight for it because she running a fever. But that still don't make sense. They gonna keep her overnight, but then Marlo sends flowers and said she was discharged. So I get why some people saying she probably faked it. But I don't know. Me personally, I don't buy that she faked it. And I don't even care for Kenya that much, but I don't think she faked it. Yeah, I said they might have just said that because it was Marlo. Yeah. So Marlo was like, "Oh, well, Manya, didn't you teach her? You showed her the dance. Show us, give us a little preview of what Kenya was gonna do. Kenya get. I said Kenya. Manya to get the dancing. Manya's a good dancer. She was doing. She was serving. Marlo was like, that bitch can dance. That's one thing I will give her. She can dance. But yeah, she can dance. Shoot, she named all of her credentials last episode or episode before last, whatever. She danced with Prince. That's all you need to be saying. That's all you need to say. I danced for Prince, bitch. You're not on my level. I danced for Prince. And some heavy hitters in the 90s. Genuine, Joe. Come on now. So after Monyetta does her little dance, I keep getting weed on my lip. So Sheree was like, so Monyetta, Sheree was like, Monyetta, when we get around the other ladies, Kenya, Candy, can you and Marlo keep this same little, what's her name? Cordial little, can y'all keep this same little cordial atmosphere? So Monyetta was like, well, as long as you don't disrespect me. Marlo was like, okay. Then Monyetta was like, as long as you don't try to fight my friends. That's when Marlo was like, oh, we're going to have a problem then. I was like, I mean, you must not want to be her friend then, because she gonna keep getting into it with Candy and Kenya. She got this hard on with Candy about this nephew situation that I feel like is bogus too. Marlo just pulling storylines out of her ass. So she was like, yeah. So Marlo was like, oh, that's probably gonna be a problem now. So then Courtney asked Sheree. And I didn't even know that Sheree and Drew had an issue. I mean, I knew they had an issue last season. But it seemed like from the reunion, they was okay. Like, when you watch the reunion, it seemed like they was cool. But then we find out some stuff happened after the reunion. After the reunion. So, where am I? So, Courtney asked Sheree, she was like, okay, what about, are you going to be able to rekindle things with my cousin, with Drew? And I was just like, girl, she's not even your cousin. You Ralph's cousin. And you his first cousin. You ain't nowhere near related to Drew. But whatever. You know how black people do. So I'm like, okay. Oh, but is Courtney even black? I keep wondering, what is her ethnicity? Because the fact that she went on that little rant when she was arguing with Candy, talking about some, what'd she say? She was like, I'm from the hood or something like that. She said, I got friends from the hood. My family's from the hood. I can show you or something. I was like, that's the equivalent of saying that I have black friends. I said that in my last review. That's the same equivalent of saying I have black friends when white people say I got black friends. So that's why I want to know what ethnicity, what is Courtney? I have no idea. I do give it to her though, because she got a whole 24-year-old out here and she looking good. I don't know what type of work she done got done, but she looked good to have a 24-year-old. And I wonder what she looked like back in the day to bag Bryce Wilson from Groove Theory. Sheesh. And they doing too much on Bryce from Groove Theory. He look okay. He looked like he did in the 90s, but with age. Like Kenya said something about him last episode before last or something like that, saying he was very good looking in the 90s, like to say he wasn't good looking now. I don't know, but. So Courtney asked, you gonna be cool with Drew? And Sheree was like, well, Drew called me recently singing all my good praises and everything, so I thought we was good. And then the next week, somebody sent me a clip of her in an interview saying that after the reunion, I took all my She by Sheree merch back from the ladies, and they didn't have anything or something like that. And then they showed the clip. I mean, they played a clip of the interview. It's an audio interview. Well, it's an audio of the interview that Drew had. And she basically was like, yeah, I'm going to give y'all a little secret. They confiscated all that stuff back from us. They took everything back from us after the reunion, da-da-da. So Sheree was like, yeah, so after that, I don't know where we at right now, me and Drew. We're going to have to sit down and have a conversation. So the ladies started to leave. Marlo, Sheree, Courtney, they go outside first. Monyetta's still getting her stuff together inside. So Marlo, she hugs the ladies. I love you guys so much. I'm like, girl, you just met Courtney, but whatever. She hugged me. I love you guys so much. She was like, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing though. Mayetta is not gonna be the same when she get around Candy and Kenya. Sheree Courtney's like, well, we'll see. So then we get this small little scene. Sonia and Courtney, they don't linked up. They had this little, I think it's like a body oil or shea butter candle type shop, whatever, smell good stuff. Remedies for your cooch, apparently, some stuff they were saying in there. So they meet up and they talking about the trip. Sonya basically just like, I just feel like Kenya don't fuck with me because I'm cool with Marlo. And I was like, no, she don't fuck with you since that Jamaica trip. And her husband had the spaz, and your husband had the spaz on her. And she called him aggressive just for saying, don't fuck with my wife. Don't fuck with his wife. I just feel like ever since then, Kenya don't fuck with Sheree. I mean, with Sonya. So this is the scene with Sonya. I mean, not Sonya. Sheree. She comes to Kenya's house. They all back in Atlanta now. Brings her some stuff for after you just been finished being sick, like some electrolytes and all that type stuff. Little remedies, whatever you want to call them. So Kenya shares that she had the flu. So apparently she had the flu. She was like, she talks about in the confessional, you know, I'm so upset I couldn't perform at a Magic City Classic, especially because of the history there. It's at HBCU, and I'm a black woman with a black business for black women, da-da-da. So she was real disappointed having to do that. I mean, not being able to do that. She pulls out a little outfit she was supposed to wear at Magic City Classic, with the little tassels on it and all that good stuff, showing it to Sheree. So then Kenya was like, yeah, so I don't really remember anything from the other night except for Marlo kicking my door. So Sheree was I think Sheree in this moment, like, basically snitched on herself because Kenya didn't even ask her anything. But in this moment, she was just like, or maybe they edited it that way. She was like, I did not kick your door. And I was like, nobody even asked you just now. No. And then they asked Sheree in her confessional, no, they showed the video. They ain't asked Sheree shit. They did. They asked her, did she kick the door? And she said, I absolutely did not. She said, I'm classy or something like that. And then they showed a clip of Sheree kicking the door. Very lightly, though. You probably couldn't even hear anything from that kick. But you still did it. So I was just like, why lie? That kick didn't even mean anything compared to Marlo's. So it's literally like, why lie? You should have just said, I kicked. I mean, I get the way it would seem from Kenya. But they was a little tipsy. They had the drinks flowing. They had just got back from that little event. So, I mean, I ain't making no excuse, but... And I'm also not... I'm only saying this because it's like I'm going to say this and then I'm going to defend what I'm saying. It seems like every time it's a group trip with Kenya, she always bringing her daughter. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I get it. But when she first started doing that, she didn't have no nanny. So I totally understood that. You don't have no nanny. Maybe you can't afford one. I don't know. So, of course, bring your baby. Nobody else going to have your baby that you don't trust. I totally get that. But now you have a nanny and you still have your baby in your... I mean, I get it. I still get that too. If you want your baby there and your nanny there, that's totally cool. I get that. But if these supposed to be girls' trips and these other ladies are leaving their kids home, this, that, and the third, that's why I feel like it comes off kind of like rude. That's why when they got on her on that trip where she ate the crab cake sandwich in front of everybody, that was the trip where I was just like... I mean, I understood her Kenya's point a little bit on that trip because she didn't have no nanny and no people to watch her child. But this trip, I was kind of like, I still don't condone what Marlo did. Because after she said her kid was in the room, you should have just left it alone. I mean, I get it. She always banged that. That's my kid in the room. She always banged that when on a trip. Well, I got my daughter or something. I get that. But it's still, it's about the safety of the child. So if your child in there and you hear somebody banging on the door, that's not going to be comfortable for them. So I still feel like Marlo was wrong. But at the same time, I still feel like, Kenya, you can't keep bringing your daughter everywhere and then try to make it seem like, and then having these trash-ass trips and acting like people ain't going to call you out on it and try to fake, like, get out of it in some type of way. And you notice how that night where they got kicked out of the event, Kenya went to bed early. I mean, I get it was probably because of her daughter, but she left early probably because she didn't want their ass to confront her about this trash-ass trip so far. So, and then they went to her room anyway. I think I just spit. They went to her room anyway and tried to confront her about it. So after Sheree was like, I did not kick your door. And Kenya was like, oh, yeah, Marlo kicked my door like a crazy person. And Sheree was like, well, she just wants your approval. Which is funny because that's something Marlo said to her life coach early in the episode. She said something about She looks up to Kenya, and that throws me off. She always try to throw out hell ass like sideways ass compliments to make it seem like she not as bad as she seemed. Like she could call a bitch a dirty hood rat, abortion having ass bitch or something dirty as that, but then be like, oh, but you know, I look up to you because you made it through. You so strong. It's just like you can. She just be, I don't know what the word is. It backpedaling? I don't know, but anyway, so Sheree was like, she just wants your approval, she just wants your approval, Kenya. Kenya was like, well, she was like, she just wants your approval, your attention, da-da-da. Kenya was like, well, she wants my negative attention. That's what she wants. So then Brooklyn, Kenya's daughter is super cute, man. She's like a little doll baby. She's so cute, bruh. She come running in, little Brooklyn, give her mommy a big hug. She got the little big smile. That baby always smiling, too. That's how you know Kenya is a great mom. That baby always smiling. She never look upset unless Kenya got to go somewhere. Like right before they went out to that charity event they got kicked out of, Brooklyn was on her all fussy because she didn't want Kenya to go. That was my first time seeing Brooklyn upset. But Brooklyn always a little happy baby. So she come running in there, mommy. So she gives Sheree a hug. Sheree was like, let me see some of your... She was like, how's karate class? Let me see some of your moves. So they put, what they put? Little baby, they put something little cute. Some little cute karate name for Brooke. It was so cute. I can't remember the name of it. But Brooklyn started showing her little karate moves. She was so cute, bruh. I was like, we need this little cute moment to step us away from the drama for like a quick second. I was like, thanks for giving that to us, editors, whatever y'all want to call producers. I was like, we needed that little moment with Brooklyn. Like that episode where they showed the little moment with Ace and Candy. I thought that was cute. I was like, that's cute. So Brooklyn leaves back out. They start talking about, Kenya was like, well, enough about my health. What about your health? So Sheree started telling her about your fibroids. She's like, I know you had some, right? Kenya was like, yeah. And she was just like, I just don't want to. Sheree was saying she don't want to get surgery. She don't want to get her fibroids removed surgically because it keeps you from working out and having sex for 6 months. I was like, girl, we don't need to hear all that. But she was like, yeah. She was like, I got a friend that got her that's been doing holistic treatment and her fibroids shrunk to where she didn't have to get surgery or something like that. So she was like, she's going to try to take that route first to see how that works out. Then she tried to play a joke on. She was like, oh yeah, and I ain't tell you, I'm expecting. Kenya was like, what? Oh my God. Sheree was like, I'm just playing. I was like, girl, you try to play the same trick on Kenya that the doctor played on your ass. So then we get to this scene, and I'm just like, are we serious? Are we serious? Get to this scene with Candy and Mama Joy. Is this the last scene of the episode? Oh, no. It's one more scene after that. So we get to this scene before the last scene of the episode with Candy and Mama Joyce. And I ain't gonna hold you. When I first started watching Real Housewives, I watched it from season 1. But I'm saying, when I first got introduced to Mama Joyce, I thought she was hilarious. I still think she low key funny. I just think she just one of those black mothers that's just gonna say how she feels. She gonna tell it like it is, and it's like nothing Candy can really do about that. The mother's not gonna change her ways. I feel like that's why I feel like this whole scene is unnecessary, because it's just like Mama Joyce is not gonna change. So they sit down, they get to talking. Candy brings up BravoCon. She was just like talking about the things that Mama Joyce said at BravoCon about Todd could be a little taller, and she want Candy to be with a decent man. So a lot of shots was thrown at Todd. So Mama Joyce was like, I just told the truth. She was like, I just told the truth. She said, what she say? Somebody asked me, I'm going to answer. There's people asking me questions. And then I'm just like, you got to remember, Mama Joyce is from the old school. So it's just like, of course her daughter been famous mostly, or Candy been famous since a child, but it's just like, social media and stuff has changed. Blogs and journalism and all that stuff has changed now. And people will make memes out of anything. They'll make funny gifs and make funny stuff out of anything. So you got to be careful nowadays and stuff like that. So, but Mama Joyce from the old school, so she don't care about none of that. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, Mama Joyce, an old school mother. Like, she remind me of my grandmother. It's just like, she old school. She not going to change her ways. So Mama Joyce was like, well, I was just, She was like, I was telling the truth. I was just answering the questions people was asking me. She's like, Todd need to lighten up sometimes. So it's not funny because I know Candy is going through it, but it's just like I know mothers like Mama Joyce. I know older black women like Mama Joyce. So this is what's funny to me. But Candy was like, well, do you have to bring up? She was like, well, can you bring up the times that? Why? She was like, why can't? Candy says to Mama Joyce, well, why can't you bring up the times where Todd actually does something good or when he's doing something good and all that? And I was just like, when is he doing something bad? Mama Joyce just likes to bag on him because she don't think he good enough for you. It ain't nothing that he's doing wrong for real, for real. It's just in her eyes she feels like Candy could do better. So it's just like Todd's not doing, he ain't abusing her. He ain't, from what we know, he ain't taking none of her money. He a good father from what we know, good husband. So it's just like Mama Joyce she just feel like Candy can do better. And I just feel like the fact that she said, well, can you bring up the times Todd does good? I was like, so when is Todd doing something bad? I need to know. When is he doing something bad? So I was just like, I don't know. But so she was like, well, can you bring up the times with Todd doing good? Mama Joyce was like, when I come over here, most of the time he be asleep. So I barely talk to him. So Candy was like, well, that's because he be trying to avoid your ass. He's like, that's because he be avoiding you. So Mama Joyce was saying, that's why I don't even be coming over here. So Candy was like, she was like, why? She was like, why you don't come over? Because you the one that bring that negative energy over here. The negative energy is coming from you. So Mama Joyce was like, well, the negative energy coming from me. That's why I don't be coming over here. That's exactly why I don't be coming over here. So Candy was like, well, we was good last year, but now things are up and down, and it's me and Todd's 9-year anniversary. 9 years. I didn't even realize it was that long. 9 years. Said their 9-year anniversary's coming up. She was like, this type of stuff just gotta stop because it's getting out of hand. 9 years Todd been putting up with this, and who knows what he be putting up with off camera. But this is more embarrassing because it is on cameras. It's like they lives on Front Street. Candy says in her confessional that she needs her mom to understand how much Todd means to her, that they solid. He ain't going nowhere. And she just need to butt out, basically. But like I said, you've been telling her this since since you first got with him in the I don't know what season that was when she started talking to Todd. I'm like, Mama Joyce been saying this and she ain't stopped. So it's been 9 years. She not changing her ways, bro. You can't make a woman like that change her ways after 9 years of being away. So then Candy gets do you love your grandkids? Ask Mama Joyce, do you love your grandkids? Mama Joyce was like, of course I love my grandkids. Candy was like, well, I'm sure when they get older, they're not gonna want to see you dogging their dad out every chance you get. So Mama Joyce was like, well, I feel like Ace is 6 years old and he didn't know how to take out the trash. That's something a man, his father, should be teaching him. I was like, what that got to do with anything she just said? What does that have to do with you dogging his father out every time? Because he don't take the trash out and he ain't teach his son how to take the trash out yet? You know how big their house is? You know how big them trash bags probably be? They live in a mansion. And that little Ace is 6 years old. He ain't even that big. Trash bag bigger than him. Now, if Todd ain't taking out the trash, that's another thing. I mean, I think they said something. She said something about that. Even still, taking out the trash, that's not. I mean, it's a thing that a man should do, I believe. But it's just like, at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. The way Mama Joyce be putting it in this situation. And then she brought it out of nowhere. That don't got nothing to do with what she just asked you. But she was like, yeah, I had to tell him. I mean, I had to teach little Ace how to take out the trash. Which is something his father, a man, should do. Gets to talking about, she was like, when you first got with Todd, he was very meek and humble. But now he acting like he George Jefferson. So I'm like, oh, so he acting like he moving on up? Like, what? Candy laughed. I was cracking up when she said George Jefferson, though. I ain't even gonna hold you. And then they showed this little clip of Todd in like this white suit adjusting his hat. Bruh, that was funny. That was funny. I thought Mama Joyce be funny, bro. She do be funny, bro. But I get it where they coming from, though. Because even when Candy and Todd was talking earlier in the episode, Todd was like, well, do you think she just says stuff like this because the people think it's funny? Like, because she's supposed to be like this funny mother-in-law that don't know nonsense. So do you think she just says that because the people want to hear it and it's funny and all that? And Candy was like, well, I would hope not. And I was like, that's exactly, she doing it because it's funny, and she going viral off of. Not saying that she needs to. I mean, your daughter is a millionaire, but I'm just saying, like, so Candy was like, so she say, she was like, what you so Candy was like, so what you think a man should be doing? Mama Joyce was like, well, that's in any household, not just your household. Talking about the trash thing. So Candy was like, well, I'm gonna need you to not do that to my man. So Mama Joyce was like, well, if that's what you want to accept, then that's what you want to accept. If you want to, she said, yeah, she said, that's what you want to accept, that's what you want to accept. So Candy was like, well, stop nitpicking my husband. Stop nitpicking at him. Mama Joyce was like, I'm not nitpicking. If that's what you want to accept, a man that don't take out the trash. She brought it up again. Man that don't take out the trash. So apparently Todd doesn't take out the trash neither, I guess. According to Mama Joyce, who's never at the house because Todd always sleep when she there. So, but she was like, that's what you want, a man not taking out the trash and going to strip clubs. She said, going to strip clubs. And Candace was like, we go to strip clubs together. So Mama Joyce was like, well, what'd she say? Yeah, so Candy was like, we go to strip clubs together. She was like, I'm not threatened by no stripper. So that's when Mama Joyce was like, well, ain't nothing in the strip club looking better than mine, I tell you that. And I didn't know if she was talking about her daughter in Todd's situation. Like, ain't nothing looking better than my child, so what you even be a strip club for? Or was she talking about herself? Like, ain't nothing looking better than me, so what you at the strip club for? Like, my man wouldn't be, like, I don't know where she was coming from with that. But I thought that was funny. Even Candy made a face and looked at the cameras. I was just like, Mama Joyce is just comedy. She funny, man. I feel like Tasha need to take it serious. I mean, she's serious, unfortunately. But I feel like Tasha just let it. I mean, I don't know. You can't just keep letting. Yeah, you don't want somebody to keep dogging you out like that. Especially somebody so close knit to you that you see on a daily basis or weekly basis, whatever you want to call it. So Mama Joyce was like, well, if that's what y'all like. And Candy was like, well, what do you like in a man? She was like, what do you and your man like, Mama Joyce? So Candy was like, what do you and your man like, Mama? So Mama Joyce was like, well, if I get one, and Candy was like, exactly, you have no man. So stop trying to tell me about mine. She was like, so leave mine alone. She was like, you just got to accept the fact that I like who I like, and we just think different. So Mama Joyce was like, yeah, I would agree with that. So then Candy was like, well, I think we should go to counseling. Mama Joyce was like, oh, okay, I'll go to counseling. I'm wondering if they mean like the three of them, Candy, Todd, and Mama Joyce? Or is it just going to be the two of them? I think Todd should be there too. But they show a little clip in that scene of Todd and Mama Joyce sitting down. I think that was the season or episode, whatever. They were supposed to come to like an agreement or kumbaya. So I was like, they didn't try to sit down and hash it out before. But I guess with a licensed therapist, licensed professional, I guess it'll work better. Maybe. But like I said, it's Mama Joyce, so I don't really think so. So Kenya, Drew, and Sheree, they meet up. It's the final scene of the episode. They meet up at this place. I guess it's like a detox place. Is it a detox place? Some type of place you go to get not electrolytes. Some vitamin D drips. They got IV bags in there, all types of weird shit. I don't know what type of place that's supposed to be. So they sitting down in the back. Sheree immediately brings it up when Drew comes in. She was like, you don't want no hug? Sheree was like, you still sick? So Sheree immediately brings up the situation. She's like, I thought we was good. You called me the other day giving my praises, but I had to find out about this audio interview of you saying that I took everything back after the reunion. So then Drew was like, I don't think I said everything. And then they showed the clip of Drew saying everything. I was just like, bro, y'all gotta learn how to lie better. Or make sure it ain't on camera. Or make sure it ain't something they could pull up. They be pulling these clips up like, caught your ass that quick. Sheree say, I ain't kicked the door. Shows it right there. Drew says, I didn't say everything. Everything, right there. So Drew was like, well, I just want to mention that the call about what she say? She was like, the call I gave you, giving your good praises, was after the reunion. I mean, it was after that interview. So I want you to know that when I called you, it was genuine or something like that. And I was like, was it, Drew? You can't believe Drew all the time sometimes. And Drew is very pretty. I loved her confessional scene that she did. I think it was this episode. She has like some red number on. Her head was high. And she ain't even had no earrings on. I was like, she looked good. Face was beat. I was like, she looked good. I give it to Drew. Drew be looking good. Her fashion looked a little better this season too. I ain't really been paying attention. She ain't really been on many episodes this season. But last season, I remember her dressing weird. And the girls always making fun about it. Or maybe they're just doing it because she was a newbie. Is this Drew's second season or third season? I can't remember. I'm going off track. Anyway, so so they started to laugh about it. Drew was like, I wanted me a She by Sheree bag. They showed a bag from a reunion. Sheree was like, but that was my personal bag with some merch in it. It wasn't even supposed to be out there on the stage. I was like, Sheree, girl, stop lying. You wanted to bring that bag out there to show the bag off, even though you ain't had that on the sale. You just tell the truth. I just wanted, that was just something that ain't been created yet for the people. That was just my personal junk that I wanted to show off. You didn't have to just say it wasn't supposed to be on the stage. Girl, Because I think in that same breath, she said it was merch for the ladies inside the bag or something like that. I don't know. Sheree was like, well, the other woman, Marlo got 5 hats. I don't know why you ain't getting no merch. Sheree saying all that. They laughing about it, though, so I don't know. Kenya just in the middle, just... So Sheree says in her timeline that it wasn't more... I said timeline. That's because I was about to say timeline. Sheree says in her confessional that it wasn't about the timeline. It was more so about the content of what she was saying, making it seem like Sheree was a liar. So that's what she said she didn't appreciate. So she was like, I see who Drew is and what she does and what she gives or something like that. She was like, and I'm just going to keep, what she say? She said, and I'm not buying it. She was like, and what she say? She's like, Drew can hop on over to my website and make a purchase. I was like, all right now, Sheree, that wasn't a funny read. Sheree been having some good reads since the season started too, a little confessional scenes, but that one was kind of corny. She's like, I get it. I get what she giving. Even something she said earlier in this episode about, she said something about, no, it was in this scene or something like that. Says Drew need to learn how to lose some of them calories by closing that big fat mouth. I don't remember what she said. It wasn't funny though. So Drew was like, I ain't getting nothing. They still laughing about it. Sheree just laughing about it too. I'm just like, so what was the joke and what was the laugh? Okay, so Kenya now brings up the argument that she had at the table. Well, not even really an argument, a little tiff she had back and forth with Marlo at the table in Alabama when they was talking about Marlo and Drew getting into it. So then Sheree was like, so Marlo changed the whole story up. And I was just like, you're supposed to be Marlo girl, but you sitting right here talking about something she changed the whole story up. But I'm pretty sure when she was telling you the story, you was like, yep, yeah, that's right, you right. Sheree just like be back and forth, girl. She ain't the bone collector this season. She just like more like a back and forth. She don't know who she want to be friends with. One minute you kicking Kenya's door with Marlo. Ooh, excuse me. Next thing you know, you with Kenya talking about Marlo just want her attention, want her affection, or something like that. I don't remember. And in the same notion, and now you saying Marlo was lying about her story, about her interaction with Drew. So Sheree was like, oh, Marlo made the whole story up. So Drew explains what happened at Marlo's altercation. I mean, basically Drew's story was accurate, except for the fact when she in that moment when she was explaining the story to Kenya and Sheree, she tries to say, I was saying an incident because we don't say that word because I'm from Chicago, and then they show the clip. That's why I said. Y'all be contradicting yourselves. Say this one thing and then they show the clip. They show the clip of Drew saying shooting in that moment to Marlo. I was just like, girl, come on, Drew. So she was like, I don't say that word. So she gets down. I don't do too well with people getting all up in my face. So that's when Sheree was like, well, Drew said you was in, well, Marlo said you was in her face. I don't know what these producers are trying to do. Because last episode when they was at the table, Kenya and Marlo, and Kenya was like, well, Drew said you got up all up in her face and all that and was very aggressive. They showed a clip of Marlo sitting down and Drew like standing in front of her talking or whatever, saying something like this. And I was like, okay, that's a part of what happened, but she still did get up in Drew's face. I was like, unless they trying to make it seem like Drew said that Marlo was in her face the whole time, that part is a lie. She got up that 1 second, probably was in her face for like 3 to 4 seconds. But I was just like, that part, I was like, what are the editors trying to do? So then in this moment, Sheree was like, well, Marlo said that you was up in her face, Drew. The editors, they show a clip of Drew kind of like in Marlo's face while she's sitting down. But it wasn't even like aggressive. She was just like, I get what you're saying. Like, I lost somebody too. And Marlo gets to standing up. She said something about Marlo being aggressive, and Marlo's kind of like petting her, like, listen to me, listen. They trying to make it seem like Marlo wasn't doing too much in that scene. I was just like, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Marlo, you fucking one of the editors. One of these editors fuck with Marlo hard. But they trying to save her face. So Drew was like, oh, no, that's not what happened. It was the other way around. She was up in my face. Just that and the third. And then Drew brings up Marlo's nephew. Sheree breaks down the whole story. You know, a nephew used to work at Candy's restaurant. Roommate used to work at Candy's restaurant. Roommate killed nephew. And that's when Kenya was like, but that has nothing to do with Candy. Exactly. That's what we're saying. That's what I feel like Marlo's trying to insinuate the fact that, well, the way she tried to insinuate that episode when she screamed in Drew's face, she tried to make it seem like Candy's restaurant or something, or Candy or something had something to do with her nephew's death, or was like, or was the cause, or any type of way. That's what she tried to make it seem like. But now she's trying to make it seem like another. Well, she tried to say that too in that moment, in that episode. But now it's just like this one story, this one part of the story that she's trying to stick to, this one reasoning she's trying to stick to that she feel like is the most valid one. And people agreeing with Marlo. So Kenya was like, well, that has nothing to do with Candy. So then Sheree was like, well, Marlo feels like if he worked at her restaurant, she could have at least sent her condolences or sent some flowers to the mother, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, so that's the reasoning that Marlo's running with now. She ain't saying she ain't trying to make it seem like Candy has something to do with it now, because that's what she was insinuating to me in that episode when she got into it with Drew. But now this is the one thing that she focused on, saying, oh, Candy didn't send nothing, Candy didn't do nothing. And I'm just like, bruh, you're not even making sense. Like, if anything, I would have kept riding with that one clip where they showed of Marlo saying, yeah, my aunt was calling me, telling me she lost her. I mean, my sister called me, said she lost her son. And Candy was like, damn, that's crazy. That's the one I would have rolled with. Because it was kind of weird that Candy, like 2 days later, Candy didn't realize what Marlo was talking about if Marlo texted her a couple of days before that and told her nephew died. That was the one thing that stuck out for me. But this thing right here, Candy don't owe you nothing, girl. She don't owe that man nothing. From what I understand, the nephew, first of all, not saying that grieving ever stops, but first of all, her nephew died 2 years ago. Second of all, I'm not saying grieving doesn't stop. I'm just saying. But then, when he died, he wasn't even working at the restaurant. And he hadn't been working for the restaurant for over like 3 months. So I'm just like, you know how much stuff, we already just seen the list of stuff that Candy be doing on a monthly basis, whatever you want to call it. You think she got time to remember a chef that used to work for her 6 months ago? You think she got time for that? She do not remember that. I mean, I get it. Marlo reached out to her, but it's like she don't owe you nothing, girl. I mean, I get it, and some people feel like, she could at least send some flowers. She sent that damn sorry to hear about that text. And that's it. That's all you need. She didn't know that man like that. It was just like, I don't know. Marlo making something out of nothing is too much. She do too much. She do too much, bruh. That just had me heated. Because I was just like, what? That's the story that Marlo trying to run with now for not liking Candy right now. So... Oh, so then they get to this part. Kenya asks, she asked Drew, like, she was like, be honest, Drew. Cause you know Drew ass be lying. She's like, did you give Courtney my number, your cousin? Drew was like, no. She was like, but I know she invited you to some event, right? Some type of light laser tag maze type event. I don't know, some type of active event or something. Drew telling him about that. So Sheree was like, well, we made a pact. Me, Courtney, Marlo, we're gonna try to keep it cute, keep it cordial. We're gonna bring good vibes going forward. She was like, Marlo said this, and they started showing clips of Marlo and Candy getting into an argument. Because Kenya calls Candy and tells her about what Marlo been out here saying about the nephew situation. So then they show another clip of Kenya saying, Kenya's telling the lady Sheree and Drew in the little vitamin D place, oh, I always forgive people. They just gotta learn how to move forward better, da-da-da. And then they show a clip of Kenya telling Drew, oh, I'm done with Marlo. Like, you can only get so many chances with me. I'm done with Marlo. So we know Marlo about to cause some more drama in these episodes to come. But yeah, like I said, I grade this episode a C. C minus, C plus. I don't remember, but this episode was super dry. But MVP, like I said, Sonia. Bet. I'm gone. What she said? I wish I could remember the exact words she said. She said, say less, bet, gone. Something like that. I don't even remember. She said, say less. That's all I need. Okay, bye, ladies. Next morning in the bed. Oh, what happened? MVP Sonya. I still grade this episode a C because it was low-key trash. They could have put that whole Alabama trip in one episode. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. Oh, no, wait. Predictions for episodes to come. I don't have any. Do I have any predictions? I mean, we already see why Candy and Marlo gonna get into it. Yeah, I don't really see anything else happening. Really. I wonder what's gonna happen when Sonya confronts Kenya. Is Kenya just gonna apologize because you did give Sonya too much? That's the only thing I'm wondering about. But other than that, yeah, I don't really got no predictions to come. They really kind of showed us what's gonna happen in the next episode, I guess, or the episode to come. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel and comment below what you thought of the episode, what you thought about what I talked about, all that good stuff. If I forgot anything, was off on anything, all that good stuff. Comment below how you feel, what you would grade the episode, all that good stuff. Yeah, again, like this video and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.